Alrighty, we are live from Columbus. OH is how it goes. Alrighty, we are live. And we indeed are live. And we do have audio, so all that's great. Did not do an after show this morning. Schedule got changed up. So I am here at night. The 8 p.m. stream called Answering Your Financial Questions Live. And let's get into some questions. Oh, first let me tell you you're watching this, in case you didn't know where you were. YouTube.com/CoachSteveMoney. If you scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist, you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist, and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist, and the music playlist that has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including How to Do the Baby Steps Right. And we generally talk about that on every stream because people insist on doing the baby steps incorrectly. And a lot of times they think they're doing it correctly, but they are incorrect. So let's answer. So questions from M Go Blue. Okay, of course, Michigan. State up north. So, of course, they have a problem. Let's see. Any success stories for folks who discovered Dave later in life? What does later in life mean? Oh, well, I'm later in life, so I'm smarter than most people, and so I'm going to do something different than the proven advice. His advice has been proven, a documented 20 million times, so I don't think you can beat that, especially since no other financial advisor even comes close to that. But did a modified version of the baby steps. What's the problem with the way the baby steps are now? And that is the beauty of it with the baby steps, is that they are these steps right here, steps 1 through 7. And guess what? It works for everyone. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what country you're from. None of it matters. None of it matters at all. You still do the baby steps all in the same way as everybody else. Steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time, without even thinking about higher steps. So on step 1, stop thinking about it. Stop trying to plan out your whole life. Stop it. Work on the one you're doing now. Like, pay attention to where you are now. Like Yoda told Luke that because he always had his eyes on the horizon, always wanted to not be on Tatooine. And of course that was boring, so I get it for him. But basically you're trying to improve your finances. Focus on the baby step that you're actually on. How about that? So let's see what this Wolverine fan, see what their problem with the baby step, our particular baby step are. Let's see. I'm always reading about folks who won with money from completely desperate situations, which we should all celebrate and praise accordingly. Indeed, and if you have money problems, the baby steps, doing them in this order, non-modified, is the quickest way out of it. If you have money problems. But I'm curious about the folks who were going through life making a lot of responsible decisions with money alongside the really dumb ones. See, again, that doesn't quit trying to be special. Quit trying to be unique and thinking that, oh, I'm a unicorn, I'm an exception. There are no exceptions on the baby steps. So based on your little situation and what you did along the way, none of that changes everything. You still are on a particular step when you start following the Ramsey advice. And so that's what you should be doing instead of your own dumb crap. Let's see. Someone who is perhaps in their mid-30s. So gonna say exactly what his actual thing is that he thinks he needs credit for, or he needs different advice for. Mid-30s, 5 to 10 years into then professional career, making good money, investing, saving, paying a mortgage. Those of us that felt like we were doing pretty well overall. It doesn't matter what you feel like. I feel like, for me, how about we deal with the reality of the situation? It doesn't matter what you feel like. Let's have some facts. How about that? And knew we could benefit from Dave's advice and felt like the baby steps were just too radical. Well, then don't do them. You'll be, guess what? You want to be unique and different. Guess what? You're not. If you don't want to follow the baby steps exactly, then you join the crowd. That's most people that aren't going to do the radical. And yes, it's radical because you were dumb with money. And so we're trying to fix that, is what we're trying to do now, aren't we? Yes, we are. How did it work for you? Any regrets, things you do differently looking back? Okay, so we don't have a specific thing that this person has a problem with. And if it was fewer comments, I would take a look to see if there's any follow-up. If somebody asks him, well, which step do you have a problem with? See, this is nutty too. This is like your average person, really, that doesn't want to sacrifice, doesn't want to do the baby steps in the right order, but also wants to phrase the question in a way, oh, I'm just looking at any way you might have modified it, not the particular way that I want to modify it. And so knowing what this person wants to do would allow to answer the question better. But regardless, it's the correct way right here on the baby steps. But the whole thing is, I fully support dumbasses that want to do it their own way. Because they make the money, right? They're the ones making the money. And they also are the ones that have to live that life. Doing the steps that they're taking, and by changing the baby steps, you are making financial peace get there slower. Okay, so but that's just normal for somebody to like make it a vague, open-ended question. But there is at least one baby step, maybe more than one, that this person just doesn't want to do. And what is radical about it? I mean, radical that, no, it's not radical. You know what it is? It's unique. See, you're the one trying to be unique here, but actually you're just average and you're just in with the hoi polloi. You're in with everybody else that won't follow the Ramsey advice. And so we're actually the weird ones who do follow the Ramsey advice, like he says to do it. Advice on loans. Loans are a no, except for a mortgage for a house you live in. That is the only one that you can get, per Mr. Ramsey. Again, if you want to do debt leverage, if you can't live without something and need it right now, knock yourself out. You're not doing the Ramsey advice, obviously. So, go with God. Best of luck to you. Need some advice on 2 loans I have. And what do you suppose the Ramsey advice would be on that? To sell what they're on. Like if that's rental property and the person has also credit card debt, etc., you would be selling that rental property because you shouldn't have bought it anyway. But let's see what it's on. 2 loans, you pay them off. If you can pay them off in 3 years, you can pay it off and keep whatever dumb crap it was that you thought you needed it right now. 24, man living at home with my parents. Guess what? The second you move out, you will have a different home. So that is not your home just because you live with your parents. Taking home about $80K a year. And Mr. Ramsey, of course, likes adults to live on their own so that they're not coddled any more than they already probably have been by their parents. Especially a 24-year-old. We coddle people too much. And I don't know about other countries necessarily if it's the same there, but we spoil the crap out of kids here. And then guess what? Guess what happens? When he finally does move out at when? 30? Not going to have any experience being out in the real world and having to take care of all expenses. And so that might not work out well. So how about we do that when we're young and then we learn and then we can ask parents about it etc., and find out more about how to keep track of all that stuff, how about we do that? Let's see, I have 38K left in a student loan at 5.75. The interest rate doesn't matter. 15K left on car. Again, if you can pay them in 3 years, knock yourself out, do that. What is this? Are we making 80K a year? You should be able to put most of that to the debt since you live at home. I enjoy investing. There's no investing while you're on step 2. You're on step 2, dog. You're on step 2. You're doing it wrong. So no enjoying investing. And I've gotten my portfolio to 52K in 2 years since graduating. You're doing it wrong. You're not supposed to be having an investment account with 52K in it while you owe 38K. So if this is not a retirement account, guess what you would do? You would liquidate this immediately, or at least the 38K of it. You would liquidate that, and also I guess you could leave the rest of it in there instead of getting having it be your full emergency fund as well for when you move out, because you don't have any expenses now. So I wonder if you even know what an electric bill normally would cost. If you have any idea. Probably don't. Anyway, I don't know if I should continue to prioritize investing. No, I don't see where it says investing anywhere in step 2. It says pay off all your debt, except the house, all non-mortgage debt, using the debt snowball. And debt snowball is, of course, smallest to largest. That explains a little blurb right there for it. Isn't that fun? So you're doing it wrong. Let's see, or focus on paying down any loans. Any advice is welcome. Thank you. Well, this is not the Financial Bro subreddit. It's reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And I don't know if you're familiar with Mr. Ramsey, but he is the no debt and no debt leverage guy. So the idea would be to pay off the debt. And there's no investing until step 4. So not only do you have to pay off that 38K of debt, then you also have to save 3 to 6 months of expenses. And I would suggest that that be your expenses once you move out, whatever that will be. And you can ask your parents for how much things cost if you don't know, because obviously you don't. Almost likely you don't. It's possible you could know how some things cost, but have you ever grocery shopped for yourself entirely for all of your food during the month? So you probably have no clue, 0 clue. And this is why we move out. This is Mr. Ramsey prefers that adults live on their own. An adult is 18 last time I checked. Plumber BN. Escrow. I was just wondering, is there any merit in getting rid of escrow and paying your insurance and property taxes yourself? Not really, unless you can get them cheaper. But a lot of mortgages have it written in there that you giving the money to them and they put it in an escrow account, which means they're just custodians of it before they send it to pay mortgage and taxes. And so, you know what? And rightfully so, a mortgage lender has no reason to trust your dumb butt to pay the taxes and the insurance. And I'm sure that was developed after people didn't pay the taxes and insurance. Doing a little Captain Kirk for you there. That was free. That comes along with the free financial advice. So doubling the freedom. Comfortable pause 649, debating condo versus single family. And why are we debating that? What could possibly be the reason? Posting here because I followed Dave Ramsey advice for many years and now you don't want to? Because I feel like for me, this is going to be some house hacking or other scheme here. let's see, I don't have a paid off home and live in very high cost of living area. Okay. We've been debating moving for a while and recently found a single family home we really like. Well, really liking it is not the final card in whether you buy it or not. I am trying to lay out the options clearly, but for some reason I'm having trouble pulling the trigger. Well, you would lay out the options clearly first before you pull the trigger. And if you're having problems laying out the options, what is it that you don't understand? Is it that you know it's too much money for you to afford and you just don't want to lay out the options because then it would be painfully clear to you? People are nutty and they do that crap all the time. But some reason I'm having trouble pulling the trigger. Thoughts on situation. I don't know what the situation is. Oh, here it is. Current condo, mortgage balance, 500K to... I don't have a paid off home and live in... Okay, and you live in the condo now. 500K... Okay, mortgage balance is 500K, so it was even more than that. So was not kidding when said very high cost of living area. Mortgage, almost $3,000 a month. HOA, $850 per month. That's bad when you are paying an HOA payment that you could use to pay an apartment rent in the Midwest. So that's bad. HOA special assessment, $1,700 per month. Something the HOA made up to some kind of expense they made up that they're splitting. How many different people are in this HOA? $1,700 per month. That is a lot of money. What is that going towards? My goodness. I mean, do you have lawn care, 24-hour notice, or just driving around looking to with a ruler and cutting the grass with a, one pops up and grows a little bit higher, they cut the grass with scissors or something. 170K balance for what? What's that? The assessment? Okay. I don't know what that would be, what kind of the assessment would be, but it doesn't matter. HOAs are going to come up with stuff like that, again, to try to make money, because they like money. Estimated sale price, $850K, then that's realistic, supposedly. All right, I'll take your word for it. Pros, we're talking about, okay, didn't clearly explain it really, but I'll take from the context because it says condo versus single family. If they sell the condo and get the single family house, this is what it would, this is what the numbers would be here. It doesn't say anything about the house yet. Okay, we've got to wait for the house data. But the condo, you can sell it for $850. Mortgage balance is $500, and so you have $350K that you could apply towards the new house. All right. Pros: unbearable neighborhood, 2-car garage, unbeatable neighborhood. Excuse me. Okay, for moving to the new house. See, I'm having to figure this out as we go along because I love it when people aren't clear. 1650 square feet. Cons: high HOA for staying there. There's a pro for moving and a con for staying there. High HOA and special assessments, I'm assuming. Or is that the pros to stay there? Maybe that's the pros to stay there. Unbeatable neighborhood, 2-car garage, 1650. Okay, cons, HOA. Okay, maybe I was making it more difficult that time. Apologies. Who is that? Comfortable pause, 649. Comfortable silences, mentioned in Pulp Fiction. John Travolta, Uma Thurman. Okay, so the single family home with no HOA, that's almost worth it just for that, I would think, sometimes. Price, boop, boop, boo doo. $1.3 million. And oh, down payment is 500. Not, is that including the 350 from the condo sale? And you have 150 to add to it, and that's 500, or is that 500 plus the 350? Because then that's not that bad, because that takes you down to a 300 some mortgage. But I'm going to go ahead and say that's with everything they can pull together, including the 300,000. Yeah, 300,000 from the house. So, excuse me, the 350, because they owe 5 and they can sell it for 850. Okay, 350K. And so we got all together, we have a 500 down payment, which would leave the idea is to not constantly keep getting higher mortgages than you owe right now. So the way you should be upgrading would be with equity, which you're doing, and also with money that you save up, so you're not constantly going back into more debt. And that's exactly what this is. They owe $500 on the condo, and now you're going to be owing $800,000. So you're adding $300,000 worth of debt. Mortgage around $5,700 per month. And that, oh my goodness, that is almost doubling it, doubling the rent per month. And oh, hey, guess what? If either of these are 30-year mortgages, and that's the only way you can afford it, that's a no. Anyway, almost double rent. I mean, double the mortgage cost per month. Pros, very desirable neighborhood with likely stronger long-term appreciation. 2,300 square feet. So the condo is bigger. No, 16, but okay, big, about 750. Excuse me, 750 more square feet. So like an apartment more of square feet. Home office for both of us, rooftop deck. Oh, that's fun. No HOA headaches. You already said no HOA up there, so why are you trying to double? Don't double up on your pros just because you want to move there. You don't need to say the same thing twice. Cons, no garage. No. Higher monthly costs, including utilities. Slightly less walkable than the condo. Okay. Financials, income is $400,000 a year. And with that information, as assuming you don't have any debt, assuming you don't have any debt at all, right? On your other than the condo mortgage currently, which is going to be sold, and then you won't have that, and so will only have this new house if you buy the new house. So assuming that you have, what is that, times 2 is 800K, and then 0.5, another 2 on that, so that's $1 million. You can have $1 million mortgage, but guess what? Would you have a $1 million brokerage account while you're having an 800K mortgage? No, you would not. You would take the money out of the brokerage account and spend it, and you don't say, oh, well, that's going to be my, that's part of my retirement. If that's true, why isn't it in retirement funds? I mean, and I guess if you're at the limit of what you can donate, I guess at that point a brokerage account would be the way. But like, if this is just extra investing, there's no extra investing until step 7, and look what comes right before that at step 6. Pay off your home early. So that means don't have a mortgage before you start doing the building wealth and giving, which the building wealth is more investing than just the 15% in retirement. And see, that's why it's Ramsey advice is so beautiful, because it's beautiful. I mean, it's because it's the same for everybody, because it's so simple. It's the same for everybody, no matter what your little pro-con list says. I mean, that may convince you to do it, but that doesn't change the Ramsey advice. Only your numbers can change the Ramsey advice. And you having that brokerage account, yeah. So Dave would be on board. You got to take 800 out of that. And then after that, you would be on step 7. So knock yourself out with keeping the rest of the 300K in the brokerage account. But if it can be, if you think it's retirement funds, and you still have room in retirement accounts or are eligible for any retirement accounts, you should do those first. Where are we at? The dilemma. All in monthly, the condo runs about $54.50. Yep. Okay, thank you for telling me. I just trusted you when you said $54.50. I didn't need it to be broken down. I appreciate that, though. That's better to have it than not have it. Paying it off would drop costs significantly, but HOA dues and assessments keep creeping up, and appreciation may be limited. Right, so if you stay in the condo, guess what? You're also liquidating the brokerage account to pay that condo off. And then you're in step 7, and then you can start investing whatever you want at that point. See, people want to have the big house, and they also want to have $1 million in a brokerage account too, and that's a no from Senor Ramsey. Single family would be about $5,700 plus monthly. Very desirable neighborhood. Should appreciate better long term. You already said all this stuff, dog. More square foot. You already said it. So you don't need to restate yourself 100 times. Lifestyle wise, I know I do it a lot. Lifestyle wise, the condo works, but do as I say, not as I do, but feels cramped since we both work from home. Justification station is fine. I already gave you permission to do it. It's fine with Ramsey. You just have to liquidate that brokerage account, which I bet you don't want to do. Single family home would give us room to breathe and likely be a stronger investment, but comes with a bigger monthly cost. Yeah, well, I would assume so. I wouldn't assume that you would be doing that because if you were just using your equity in the condo and your cash to buy the house completely, but no, you want to get a mortgage on it like you're a freaking financial bro, and that is not the advice to be a financial bro. So yeah, so I'm fine with either one of those that you want to do, but either way, your residence should be paid off if you're going to follow the Ramsey advice. And I'm probably posting here because I've followed Dave Ramsey advice for many years. Not all of it you haven't, because it doesn't say anywhere in these steps to have a $1 million brokerage account in addition to investing the 15% of gross income. So, but again, I'll give him benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's running up against the barrier for being eligible for a retirement account. And so maybe he maybe maxes that out pretty early in the year, maybe. Wiki chaos. Okay. Sell investments to pay debt. Imagine that. Just like I told the guy here to sell the brokerage account or liquidate the brokerage account. Yes, you would do that as long as they're not in a retirement account. Problem with that is you get penalties on that money if you take it out before 59.5. That's why you don't put money in there unless you say to yourself, that's for retirement. The only time I'm going to tap that is in retirement. There's no 401k loans or any bull crap like that. No, that's for retirement. Don't put it in there unless you're willing to leave it in there until you retire or longer. You should be pulling from that thing throughout the whole rest of your life once you do retire. You don't take it all out and do something else with it. Have a big 20K in credit card debt, 20K personal ETF, yeah, and stock investments, that's a no. Single stocks would be a no anyway. Even if you had that in a retirement account, the single stocks would be a no. You sell those and then you buy managed mutual funds, and they can have those same stocks in there, but you're not diversified enough by doing single stocks. And the ETFs, if those are index funds, you're losing money by not having the managed funds that make more than the index, and they do exist. Just got to look for them and not be lazy. Another 20K into retirement accounts. Retirement accounts you don't sell. Cars all paid off. House loan of $460K. I make around $100K as a sole provider. Head of household, family of 4, Raleigh, North Carolina. My uncle lives there. Area. Should I just sell some of the... That's my mama's brother. Actually, my daddy's brother. That's Forrest Gump as well. We were talking to Bubba on the buzz, and Bubba said, yeah, my uncle, that's my mama's brother. Thought he had to spell it out for Forrest. And maybe he did have to. I don't know. Or maybe Forrest knew what an uncle was. Raleigh. Should I just sell some of the stocks and get out of debt all at once, or snowball and keep investments where they are? I don't see anywhere on here where it says, hey, while you're paying off your non-mortgage debt, you go ahead and have brokerage accounts and single stocks and all that other stuff, baby. You go ahead. You can do that. Does it say that there? No, it doesn't. So assume you don't do that. That's dumb as crap. Investing is step 4, and that's only retirement investing. That is not having no doggone single stocks or extra investing beyond retirement. You're so dumb. Quit being dumb. Do you want to follow the Ramsey advice, or do you want to do it your own dumb way? Pick and do it. Snowball out of order. Well, then it's not a snowball, because snowball infers actually means smallest to largest. Because when it rolls down the hill, it gets bigger as it picks up more snow. Vegetable pickle 6322. Hey y'all, hi guys. I read the Total Money Makeover and have been focused on working the baby steps the last 3 months, but now I want to all in step 2 already. Made it past, maybe didn't even know the stuff in step 0, because that's not in the book, I don't think, unless they added it with one of the updates, since I have read it, and they just did another, I think, 25th anniversary update this past April. Or 2 Aprils ago. I can't remember when it was. Anyway, I haven't read it since a long time ago. So I don't know if they added more stuff about baby step 0 in there. And examples for that: get your 4 walls in place. That would be your housing, food, transportation, clothing. So don't buy clothes in step 1 or 2. You don't need to. Work with what you got. Getting insurances in place. Getting current is one of those. So like if you're behind with any debt, getting current would be part of step 0, even before you start to save the $1,000. Been working on focus the baby step the last 3 months, but now I'm on step 2 and want to change something. I'm on baby step 2, and since I started July, I've put $28,447 toward debt. That's great. Probably, like everyone else seems to have other assets or savings, while you also have the stupid ass debt, which is a dumbass move, especially since you have been focused on working the baby step. Especially since you're gung-ho about doing it. Maybe you got a great idea, do them correctly. How to do the baby steps right. I'm not including mortgage payments. Okay, right. And you shouldn't, because you shouldn't be putting extra to that anyway. To mortgage yet. You pay the minimums on mortgage. I got a $15K bonus during this time. I don't just have a still will. Oh, okay. So that's still 13,000 in a month and a half or something, 2 months. Started in July, depends on when he started in July. So about 2 months or so. So that's still good, even if you take out the 15K bonus. That's still 13,447. So good job. I've been doing the snowball method. Oh, it's working as prescribed. So it's working the way it is, huh? Seems like it's fine. Because it truly has provided me the motivation and behavioral change that I desperately needed. My credit card and furniture line of credit debt will be paid in about 6 months at this rate. I would try to make it happen faster than that. The next big payments will be my student loans and car. I bring home about 154K per year after taxes, not including bonus. My student loans total. Okay, where I want to. What is it? Why didn't you just skip to see the? I just opened it instead of opening a new tab. I'll have to remember that to go back. Where are we? 44K broken up between several smaller loans, both private and federal, and the remaining balance on my car is 43K at 5.7% interest. We don't look a 953 monthly payment. Stupid tax, I know. Yeah, you don't have to keep the car. I know a lot of people are just flabbergasted by that. What do you mean I don't have to keep the car? But I bought it and I like it. I gotta have a car to get around with. They don't ever think, oh, I could sell this dumbass car that I bought and buy a beater and then have more money to put towards my debt and I would still have transportation. They don't ever think about that, ever. Well, and when they do, it's definitely sell. Whenever somebody asks on it, should I sell the truck or sell the car? I think it's always been a yes for me, except like one time. Because they could pay it off in about 3 years. So if so, and that was their only debt, and so if you can pay all your non-mortgage debt off in 3 years, Mr. Ramsey is fine with you doing that sacrifice to keep that. And he does say, I hope you like the car. I hope it's a good car. And you don't have any problems with it, because then that would be the wrong thing to do, obviously. But we don't know that in advance. Yeah, so you could sell that car and that would free up $953 a month. It's very stupid tax is what that is, not just regular stupid tax. Graduate student right now, and half my loans are in automatic deferral status. The largest of these student loans still has a minimum monthly payment of $320. Okay, and also what you would do in this situation is you would not be paying extra to the student loans anyway to just take out more later. You would cash flow school instead of doing that. Should I do things a little out of order once all the credit cards are done and throw all my extra income at my car payment while my loans are on deferment? No. Deferment has nothing to do with it. The interest rate has nothing to do with it. Now, financial bros like things have something to do with it, but nothing does except the smallest to largest idea. And the reason is because most humans respond positively to faster wins more often. And that doesn't happen if you start with a very big loan because it has a lot of interest on it. And then you suddenly quit the baby steps, whereas before you might still be on them if you didn't try to do it your dumbass way. I'm a financial dummy. It's dummy. Okay. Graduate student, huh? Who has at least taken radical changes. Okay, stop. Why are you trying to build yourself up? Be confident that you're doing the right thing, but you're not by trying to change the baby steps. And so that's why maybe you feel like you have to build yourself up, because you're doing another dumbass thing again. You're being a financial dumby. It's D-U-M-M-Y. You see, I understand the dumb is a silent B on the end, but when you say dummy, it just gets another M and adds a Y on it, grad student. Obviously not grad student in English, or I hope not. to my spending habits and come understand the power of a budget, but I don't know if I'm overthinking this or it makes sense. Thanks in advance. Yes, you are. If you are thinking too long about a particular baby step, you are thinking too long, because it is as simple as it says. And it just means the reason you're doing that is because you want to do it wrong. You want to do it your own way. And again, knock yourself out if you want to be stupid, a dumby, and do things yourself, your own way. You can do that. You could have done that without coming to the subreddit at all, but you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, so you should expect Dave Ramsey advice. So dumb. Conventions, trading in new car for older one. Yeah, you can do that too. This person could have done that too, didn't he? Was this the car? The snowball order guy was the car, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, and that, you should be putting more time into thinking about selling that dumb ass $1,000 a month car payment. You should think about selling that car is what you should spend more time thinking of. You are an incredibly dumb graduate student. Congratulations. I made a post a sub a few days ago. I don't remember it, trading a new car for an older one, but it does happen from time to time where people decide to do that. I'm not opposed to trading in my car for something older to free up cash flow right now. Great. Has anyone had any success with buying an older car and getting a few years of life out of it? I found a 2005 Toyota Camry with 80K miles. That's not a lot of miles at all. That's why I bought my 2005 Suzuki Verona, and I'm sure the Toyota Camry has a much better track record than the Suzuki Verona. My Verona. And I've had incredibly good luck with that. So, yeah, do that. For 7K, I would immediately free up tons of money each month and be able to utilize it. Yes, do it. That's the Emperor from, what was that? Revenge of the Sith. Measure big, 8,006. Just over 1 year debt free. It's amazing. Baby steps 4 and 7. You can just say 7. 4 doesn't end. Because part of 7 is build wealth and give, and you continuing to invest in retirement or otherwise is that build wealth part. And so it's part of 7. So step 4 is eternal. So you don't have to do it like that. So just over a year ago, our 3-year car loan was paid off. They could have sold their car too instead of taking 3 years to pay it off. Well, maybe they paid it off earlier. Maybe it was supposed to take 3 years and then they paid it off earlier. Could be. I bought my dream car with trade in and cash, and that's how you should upgrade cars and houses for sure. This year, I've calculated $30,000 to be saved after saving 50K in 2023. And just 5K in 2024. What happened? $2023, were you... No, that's 3 years, so they were paying... were you paying... Are you including 2023 and you hadn't started the baby steps yet? And you kept that 50,000 in savings? If so, you did it wrong. And you could have been in step 7 faster. Do I have too much in cars total? Oh. But my dream car, you didn't say how much it's worth. You didn't say how much you paid for the car. Do I have too much in cars total? You also didn't say what. Is it only these 2 cars? Yeah, you got to tell us the number, my friend. Cash flow, new appliances, 5K, new HVAC and electrical panel upgrade, 28K, take a vacation, 5K. First one in 6 years, great. And an unfortunate car accident with 5K deductible. Still budget, but having no debt allows us to have some guilt-free spending. Okay, and that's what you're supposed to do when you get on step 7. 10%. plus of total income, of total take home, and easily take care of the unexpected. When Dave says something changes in you when you have a paid off house and no debt, he's right. Budget and my bad, should have opened that already. Budget and still give every dollar a purpose and you'll be fine. Okay. With extra income and health savings, we are able to live more free and debt-free. Closing in on retirement for me in 5 to 7 years, spouse next year. Net worth has increased to just over $900,000. Been stuck in mid to high 800K last few years. Spouse and I came from nothing, only children and parents, never had money. Okay, so that's where this is where like if you have like this is 100K short of a $1 million net worth. And if you're a millionaire, you can buy a new car, but you still should not have vehicles that add up to more than half your annual income. So that's going to be a problem. Point is, anyone can do this. It's hard. It takes commitment and communication, being on the same team, and a budget. Edit, someone mentioned income. Yeah, because you didn't say what the income was. You also didn't say what the cars cost you. Average take home over a 5-year period. No, that doesn't matter. It's what it is now. Equals 90K per year. So you can have 45K in cars. I bet you have more. No, you can use your average take home 26 to 2030 is 112. Okay, so 56K in cars. Yes, I've calculated take home based on future guaranteed income and spouse retirement. Okay, but we still need to know how much the cars are, and I'm going to go ahead and think that depending on, if say this was a new car 4 years ago, new car 4 years ago, and your dream car, if that's a new car now, you shouldn't have bought that because you're not a millionaire yet. But also 56K. It's based on household income. So I'll steal you on that. I wonder if somebody asks, how much is the car? How much is the car? How much is the car? Nope. Didn't say. No, it didn't say ever how much the cars are. So, do you have too much in cars? I don't know, because you did not give a number on the car. So, otherwise, pretty good, other than maybe probably having too much cars. Too much in cars. Real Brazilla. And, of course, his dream car might be something fairly cheap, too. I don't know. But the fact that he asked about it, I'm going to go ahead and say a lot of times that people ask questions like that when they know darn well it's too much, but want somebody to justify them having it. Anyway, looking to understand if I need to adjust anything. Well, you would do that by looking at the baby steps. It outlines everything pretty fairly. Let's see. Maybe it's not a steps question. Maybe it's just general advice stuff. I am contributing 14% of my 401k. People are so freaking nutty. If we just take a slight glance here at the baby steps. Oh, I wonder if that question can be answered by the baby steps. Let's see. If I recall correctly, and I do, the investing baby step is step 4, right? Yes. So let's see what it says. Step 4, invest 15% of your household income in retirement. And people are way, way, way more than happy to tell you that they're doing it wrong. by saying immediately, I'm contributing 14% just because I don't want to do everything that Dave says to do perfectly. Because I'm my own person and blah, blah, blah. That just means you're an idiot, is all that means. To my 401k, possibly 1 to 2% shy of maximizing my contributions. Why? Why? It says 15. Why? My employee matches dollar per dollar up to 10%. That's great. That doesn't count towards the 15. That's gravy on the biscuit. So he wants you to have 15% of skin in the game. So again, why? Why is it possibly 1 to 2% shy of maximizing contributions? Why? What dumbass reason do you have for doing that? I put my health insurance yearly, max out of pocket, and a HSA, okay? But have 5-year-old triplets. Oh my goodness gracious me! And those funds probably have been used basically every year. So not using it as a retirement, as an investing device. So actually using it for medical expenses, which is fine. Also use a dependent flexible spending account where, due to the income bracket, I am capped at $27.77 a year. Excuse me, $2,777. Better than nothing. True. I also have a high yield savings account, 4%, where I throw about 100K. I'm keeping it as an emergency fund / house down payment. Yeah, there's no doing that. If it's your house down payment, fine, but you have your emergency fund, and that is separate from down payment. And if you already have an emergency fund, you don't have an extra emergency fund unless you're in step 7. Now, Sharon Ramsey likes an emergency fund for the emergency fund. And so she can have that because they're on step 7. She also has insurance, life insurance on Mr. Ramsey, even though doesn't need it because probably will inherit from him if he dies before her. She'll inherit more assets that are a higher amount than the term life insurance that she got on him. And so, yeah, you can self-insure once you have enough money to take care of anything like that. And so she's fine already. So yeah, you don't do that. We don't do it. This is so close to a slush fund, and that's what we'll find out you have next. So you don't do that. You also don't do a freaking brokerage account either, all at the same time. Everybody wants to do everything all at the same time. Dumb. However, I was lucky to buy a little house in a high cost of living area and refi at 2.85%. With the current real estate market and the interest rates, I don't think we're going to be moving anytime soon. Kids just, okay, what is the... you need to adjust your contributions up 1% because you dumbly have it 1% below the amount that it says. Why would you do that? What is going on in your head that you would do that, assuming you had glanced at the baby steps and read step 4? You would see it says 15, and if you were already doing that when you looked at it, you would know you're doing one less. And so what is going on in your head that you think that's fine, and then you ask if you need to adjust anything? See, this is that same thing where it's a vague question, but they have one thing that they actually want to ask about, but they're trying to be very vague about it. Dumb. Now my company has been giving us inflation adjustment raises are fine, about 3% for the last 4 years, and with not having to pay for prepaid school anymore, I found myself having money aside, really not a lot, and invested in ETFs like SPY and QQQ. Those are index funds. Those are not advised by Mr. Ramsey. Also, extra investing you don't do until you're in baby step 7. And do you still have a mortgage? buy a little house at refi at 2.85%. That means there's still a mortgage. So you need to stop doing what you're doing. And I got a great idea. How about we do the baby steps instead of your dumbass crap? How about that? Wonder if I should make a different use for them, like a Roth IRA, or possibly incrementing my contributions to 529 funds. Also, what do you all think about 529 funds if a kid decides to not go to college? If you put money into that, you insist they do go to college. You make them go to college. If they really don't want to, you can transfer it to another family member. I think even cousins and so forth. So you could do that. But if you are that worried about it, then fine. Just put college money in a brokerage account then, and then you don't get any tax benefits from it, as you do in the 529. What happens to that money? I think you can get it, but I think it's a high penalty if you cash it out without going. I think. I'm not sure. So why don't you check on that and get back to us? I'm a bit lost, tired of grinding at work, but I feel like we are nowhere close to be financially safe, and I am stressing. Yeah, it's because you're doing all this little dumb crap that you shouldn't be doing. It doesn't have anything in here about any of the dumbass shit you're doing. It doesn't have that anywhere in there. It says invest 15% into retirement. Does it say anything else more about any more investing until step 7? No, it doesn't. It does not. So that means you have to be on you have to have been on step 6, paid off your home early, which you do have a mortgage. Said there's a mortgage, didn't say how much was left on it. Just said that he was able to buy a fairly cheap house in a high cost of living area. Great. And that will appreciate a lot. That's cool. But you still have to pay that off before you invest 1 cent beyond the 15%. And why your dumbass is doing 14 instead, I don't know. Did you even glance at the baby steps? Have you ever seen this before? Have you ever heard Mr. Ramsey say 15%? Or are you the type, I know some people are the type of person, and I don't get this type of brain, where they can just brush by that and they can just say, well, I'm doing 14%. That's only 1% off. No big deal. Blah, 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 blah. Let me do all my other stuff. Let me do all my brokerage accounts. Let me do index funds on stuff here and up there. It doesn't say to do any of that bull crap on here on this baby steps list. How about we stick to the list first, and then when you're on step 7, you can do all your dumb bull crap. People are nutty, man. I don't understand that way of thinking. Where you're trying to follow Mr. Ramsey's advice theoretically. And so you look at the baby steps and it says 15 and you don't change what your dumbass is doing because it's off by 1%. Why would you not change it? Why would you not do it like he says to do it? Otherwise, if you don't want to do the Ramsey advice, you don't have to post this. You can just do your dumb crap the way you want to do it. You can do it all wrong if you want to. I don't care. That's up to you, man. My name is Paul. That's between y'all. Obviously, the best thing for you to do would be to follow the Ramsey advice exactly, because that's what's been proven. Your way has not been proven by anyone. Debt decisions. Little backstory is I have around 27K of student. Now, how many students are worth 27K? I mean, if it's, depends on the student, I guess. If it's Wednesday Adams, Jenna Ortega, she's probably worth 27K by herself, but I don't know. I'm being facetious. It probably means student loans, and they forgot the student loan. They got the loans part, and they also forgot the period or a comma there or something. But anyway, just went to immediately to 23 and I have enough to just pay it off in one go. I wonder if he should do that. I wonder if he should do that, but I wonder if he's thought of something better to do with the money. Let's see. I would be left with around 10K in reserve, just wanting opinions on what's smart. I've just recently become a follower of Dave Ramsey as well. Okay, well, allow me to retort. That's from Pulp Fiction as well. So you see, so we're paying off our 27K of student debt, right? Okay, so you said that, and that means then you're in step 2, right? Now in step 2, by following baby step 1, you would have $1,000 in savings, and if you have more than $1,000 in savings, like say, oh, I don't know, a $10,000 reserve, as you call it, it does not say add 9,000 to it if you feel like it. Or it doesn't say also put money in a reserve account for that. No, you just have the starter emergency fund as savings, and it's only at $1,000 while you still have debt. Every other cent of it goes to debt, you dumbass. So you're doing it wrong. How about if we do it wrong? I understand you're new to the Ramsey advice, but people will say they've been following Dave's advice for years and they're still doing this dumb crap on step 2. Even you would think they would have looked at step 2 long enough to realize, oh, it doesn't say anything on here about saving more money than that. Unless you look at step 3, which you shouldn't do because you're not on that step yet, but a lot of people do. And they say, oh, save 3 to 6 months of expenses, which this guy, perhaps, could have, or young lady, I don't know. I don't think they mentioned gender, but could be that the person saw this, save 36 months of expenses in an emergency fund, and he's like, oh, I've already got that, so I don't even have to do that when I get to step 3. No, you're not on it yet, so you don't do it, so you undo it. Also, if you're investing while you're on step 2, you stop all investing. All that money goes to debt. You stop it, even foregoing a match. You stop it. You don't start investing while you're also doing step 2. You do not do all of the baby steps all at one time. People are nutty with the way they do the baby steps incorrectly. They are dumb. I mean, just start with nothing and do your own thing in your own order. It's fine. But why come on the Ramsey subreddit? I mean, again, as like I always say, it's great content. How do you control overspending at the grocery store? Okay, so you know when you're getting ready to overspend at the grocery store, you don't do it. Dumbass. Don't do it. Okay? So, you know, so what we do when we are trying to be more intentional with money, we don't just go through the store la 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 la. Especially if you know you have a problem with overspending at the grocery store. We don't go through the store going la 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 la, putting whatever in the cart, and then it'll just be a big surprise when we get to the checkout. Right? No. Great idea. So you see, you can take a calculator with you, but also here in the year of our Lord 2025, we have cell phones, and your cell phone have a calculator on them. So how about we do a little thing where we are at the grocery store and we put something in the cart, and then we put the price in there and hit plus. And then when we put the next thing in, we put the amount and hit plus instead. How about we do that? People are so dumb. And so that's how you would do that. So also, the other tricks involved with that would be to don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry. Don't buy the most expensive stuff ever. Buy the store brand of stuff and not the name brand of stuff. Let's see what this person. Oh, this person found some stuff and wanted to share it. So that's how that happened. Okay, didn't actually need the advice, I guess. Just wanted to find out what other people's. Let's see, generally keep a shopping list on my phone and try to follow it. No, you do or do not follow it. There is no try. That is so dumb. That is so dumbass. Why would you not follow it? Follow it. If you forgot about something, tough crap. It wasn't important enough for you to remember, so you don't need whatever that is. Or you get whatever that is and you have to X something else off of it. But it's hard to follow the shopping list on the phone due to it not being organized in shopping categories. Well, then why don't you organize it in shopping categories? That's so dumb. You can make a Google Sheet and you can access that through your phone and it can have the categories and the things that are in the different categories. You're nutty. Put in the time to do it then. My goodness gracious me. I end up with 2 mistakes at the same time. A, miss things on my shopping list Well, how would you miss things? B, impulse buy things not on the shopping list. So you don't do that. So if you look at the shopping list and you have something in your hand you're getting ready to put in the cart, if you look at the shopping list that's not on there, like this orange that I'm holding, this make-believe orange, it doesn't say make-believe orange on my shopping list. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to put that back in the little area that it's in the store. People think things are so difficult. They're not. You just need to quit being dumb. Edit. Someone recommended the following free app sites to help with the problem. Spendingskills.com. Sure. Anything like that. Outofmilk.com. Okay. I'm sure those are great. Can certainly check them out. I'm not going to click on them, but so because I have a little thing called self-control, and as an adult, you need to have that as well. So learn it, know it, live it. Stop being dumb is the main advice. Alrighty. My goodness gracious me. Only 2 days left. Catching up with the end of it. I'm going to have to get some questions from the Ramsey Baby Steps community on the Facebook for when I run out. Doing too many financial streams lately, I guess. Which is a better deal? No question mark there. It's for mortgage, and no comma or anything either. Below I've listed 4 sets of figures for you, 2 and 5 years deals on interest. Okay, we'll look into that tomorrow. We'll be doing an after show in the morning. So tomorrow, 11:05 a.m., as it says on the ticker below. When is a good time to have a good time? All the time. That's from the original Spinal Tap movie. The new one's out now, I believe. But yeah, it was they asked one of the they asked the keyboardist actually. The pretend director who was the actual director of it asked the keyboard player, the person that was playing the keyboard player, says, what's your life motto or something like that? And he says, to have a good time all the time. So, bit of a dumb question. Yeah. That's all I get. That's all we get day in, day out around here. That's from Ghostbusters. Because who was it? Sigourney Weaver came in. Dana Barrett. And she said, this may sound a little weird. And Peter said, oh, that's all we get day in, day out around here. And he was fronting, of course, because she was their first client. A what would you do, if you will? I will. I was wondering, when do you think is a good time to have a good time? 33 man and my wife have total yearly income around 75K, increasing to 90K this year. Congratulations. Steady jobs, no kids, no plans on having kids. Okay. We rent an apartment for a fair price. We have no plans on getting a home or a mortgage at the moment, and we're totally debt free. Great. Been saving and investing around $1,500 a month. Great. Being kind of frugal and saving up. We don't usually go out and spend money on restaurants or useless stuff. Great. We currently have 15K in savings. Oh, I was just going to preview that. Okay, well, we'll find out the rest of that. I'll just briefly summarize all that when I talk about that tomorrow. Giants going to get destroyed on Sunday Night Football. Total Man Makeover. 2 questions regarding topics on this book as I go along. Okay. Dave mentions paying IRS debt first. So yes. Yes. Nothing you type is going to change that advice. No argument you have is going to change that advice. You just do it or decide not to do it. Very easy. IRS versus credit card debit. Is that the same person? It is not, but current in both. Current mammoth and current sir. Probably the same dumbass. IRS versus credit card debt. It's IRS first, you dumbass. And it's not debit. Debit is something different. Debit is a subtraction on a ledger. Or, you know, they also have debit cards, which take from your checking account as opposed to from your line of credit with the credit card company. So you're spelling wrong. You're a dumbass trying to do 2 different names at the same time, because this is too much of a coincidence there. Unless on, because they did have where add in the name would be a, and their current sir 7324. Is that the same guy? Yeah, again. Let's see what he said. Hold on. First, let's terrified of baby step 1. Why? Because it's not step 3. Because it's not more than $1,000. Tough crap. Deal with it. You should be more terrified of your debt, dumbass. Second career in finance that doesn't require super math skills. Yeah, financial coaching. I don't have super math skills. I mean, I'm pretty decent with math, but I don't have super ones. Debt mortgage payoff. Yeah, you don't pay extra on the mortgage. Quit trying to redo the baby steps one by one, dumbass. That is so dumb. Need advice, home sale / mortgage. All right, we'll see what that is. And what else? Alternative to HSA and CDs for short-term investing. That would be about it. Mr. Ramsey doesn't like CDs, so he would say no on the CDs, yes on the IO savings account, and we'll read all their little crap and their justification and whatever else their reasons for doing anything, for getting up that morning to breathe, and then also to make that comment or question. Alrighty then. No skip frame, no drop frames. Excellent. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were gonna hit this button right here. And I was gonna say again, I am Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you would like to schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me, I'll tell you how dumb you are for doing dumb crap. You can schedule that by emailing me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Cash App is $Coach Steve Money. It wasn't taken, or a Walmart gift card too. coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can also use that email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, for just any questions you have about my channel or anything else on your mind. Upcoming stream subject to change, and it did change today. I did not do a Ramsey show after show. Those are normally at 11:05 a.m. Eastern time, after the Ramsey show, the newest Ramsey show, is over on YouTube. Monday through Friday. Today's didn't happen, but the rest should, Wednesday through Thursday. So through the Friday the 19th. That should be happening in your financial question streams, 8 p.m., maybe 1 or 2 during the week. So I didn't do the after show today, so that's why I did the 8 p.m. stream. But there aren't any others planned except Saturday and Sunday. On the weekends, if I do one, I normally do at least one. So it's Saturday and or Sunday is how I phrase it. And that's 8 p.m. Eastern time. And so there'll definitely be one on Saturday or Sunday. And a little bit later in the week, probably by Thursday, I'll have the ones for next week, probably. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe first, and then like, and then subscribe again. Although you don't have to unsubscribe and resubscribe because that's a net positive of 1 still. So that's not going to help me at all if you resubscribe. You can make 1,000 different screen names and subscribe. That would be cool. But then you have to watch stuff on a lot of different screen names. So don't do that. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Subscribe, like, comment on the thing. Like I said, you can email me if you have any questions about anything. And beyond that, how about we do what it says right here in this field right here? Make smart financial decisions every day.